If you can train your mind to stay clear under pressure, you can win in any situation. That's the law we start from. Nothing outside you has the power to break you inside unless you hand it that power. Most people live in reverse. They try to fix everything around them, jobs, routines, even relationships, while ignoring the one lever that truly determines how they show up. The lever is always the mind. When your thoughts are scattered, your emotions run wild, and your life follows in fragments. But when your mind is sharp, steady, and trained, you stop being someone who panics, breaks, or quits. You become unshakable. This is not entertainment. It's training. That difference matters. Entertainment gives you a dopamine hit. Training changes who you are. Training builds a mind that can stand tall when nothing goes right, that stays calm in chaos, and that knows how to win without needing perfect conditions. If you've been waiting for life to get easier before you get serious, this is your wake-up call. Let's make this practical. The first battlefield of the day is the very first hour after you wake up. Win that hour and you tilt the rest of the day in your favor. Lose it and you start from a deficit. Most people wake up, reach for their phones, scroll, compare, and react before their feet even touch the floor. That's like handing the pen of your story to the world. They let outside noise fill their head before they've had one original thought, and then they wonder why the day feels like a tug of war. Here's the truth. The first hour is either your foundation or your downfall. If you wake up sluggish, doubting yourself, or distracted, your mind already starts compromised. But if you take command the moment your eyes open, you send yourself a clear message. I run my life. I set the tone. I choose my thoughts. That single decision in the morning cascades into strength throughout the day. So what does it mean to win the morning? It means clarity before confusion, direction before distraction. It means deciding, not drifting, about how you're going to think. You can either let the world push you around, or you can lead yourself. And leading yourself begins when you rise. Here's a concrete practice. Before your feet hit the floor, take 1 minute to speak real truth to yourself. No hype, no slogans, just truth. Say, today I will stay clear. Today I will push forward. Today I will not waste my energy on useless thoughts. And mean it. That minute is more powerful than 10 hours of scattered planning because it sets your inner posture. Strong mornings are built on rules, not moods. Rule 1, no phone in the first hour. Rule 2, no messages, no notifications, no quick hits of noise. Just your thoughts, your goals, your direction. Review your plan. Remember why you're here. Ask yourself how you want to show up. Then tell yourself, today, I'm acting like it. That's how strong people begin. They don't wait until things fall apart to get serious. They start serious. Now let's be honest. Some mornings you won't feel like it. Fatigue will whisper excuses. Comfort will invite you back to bed. That's the weaker self, trying to own your day before it even starts. If you surrender to it at sunrise, it will follow you all day long. The antidote is awareness. Recognize the voice, catch it, and push past it. Each time you do, you strengthen the muscle of self-leadership. Each time you refuse, you prove to yourself that you can rise without waiting for motivation. This is not about being perfect. You will stumble. Some mornings you'll snooze. Some mornings you'll drift. But your job is not to wallow. Your job is to course correct. Awareness is power. Write down the thoughts you wake up with. Ask, are these helping me? If not, replace them. That simple switch reshapes your energy, your attitude, and your direction. The environment you wake up into matters too. Cluttered space equals cluttered mind. If your morning feels messy, look around. Is your space chaotic? Clean it up. Create a place where your thoughts can breathe. Winners build strong environments to support strong minds. Think of this hour as your training ground. Every repetition, every morning you own, builds resilience. And like any training, it compounds. At first it feels forced, then it becomes natural, and finally it becomes who you are. Eventually, your brain expects it. You wake up already aligned, already prepared. That's when you begin to notice a difference. Problems don't rattle you, setbacks don't derail you, and you carry quiet confidence through the day. Take one more step. Rise with purpose. No snooze button, no dragging. Get up like someone serious about their life. That first step out of bed signals to your mind, we're not here to coast. We're here to grow. That message sticks. Your body and brain align with it. If you want interaction, here's a moment to pause. Leave a comment below with where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Let's see how this global community shows up together. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss new sessions from AudioBook Sanctuary. This space is about building minds that win, and you're part of that journey. Now, back to the story. You've seen why the first hour is the foundation. Guard it like treasure. If you squander it, you weaken the whole structure. But if you protect it, you carry strength into every task, every challenge, every situation. You're not reacting anymore. You're leading. And tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, you'll have another chance to prove it. That's the essence of owning your morning. No one else writes your story unless you hand them the pen. You don't need hype. You need clarity, consistency, and courage to start serious. Because when you win your morning, you win your day. And winning days stacked together create a winning life. Next, we'll step into the next arena. Once your morning belongs to you, the challenge is keeping the rest of the day protected. That means mastering the art of focus, guarding your attention from every small thief that tries to steal it. Distraction is the silent thief of progress. Most people don't lose their day because they lack time. They lose it because their attention is scattered in 100 directions. One message, one notification, one impulse to scroll, and suddenly their mental energy is drained. A weak mind doesn't even notice the theft. It thinks this is normal. But a trained mind treats focus like currency, something too valuable to hand away carelessly. Think about it. If you guard your money, your home, your health, why wouldn't you guard your focus with the same seriousness? Focus is the engine that drives everything else. Without it, your efforts leak out like water through holes in a bucket. You feel busy, but you're not moving forward. You're just reacting. To build a mind that wins, you must stop negotiating with distractions. That means making non-negotiable rules about what gets access to your attention. Rule 1. No endless notifications. Turn them off. Rule 2. Block or delete apps that suck your energy without feeding your purpose. Rule 3. Carve blocks of time where you do nothing but the work that matters. No checking, no switching, no reacting, only doing. And here's the truth. 99% of what demands your attention is not urgent. It only feels urgent because it's dressed in red badges and buzzing alerts. When you pull away the disguise, you see it for what it is. Noise. Noise that robs clarity, drains momentum, and leaves you empty at the end of the day. Winners know this. That's why they are ruthless about focus. Not ruthless toward people, but ruthless toward habits that weaken them. Imagine your mental space like a room. If it's filled with junk, there's no room to move. Every stray item trips you up, but clear the clutter and suddenly you can breathe, think, and act. The same is true of your thoughts. A cluttered mind cannot create. A scattered mind cannot build. But a focused mind feels like standing on solid ground. You move deliberately. You make better decisions. You trust yourself. The challenge is that distraction is seductive. It's easy, familiar, and offers instant gratification. But every time you indulge, you weaken the muscle of focus. And every time you resist, you strengthen it. This is why protecting focus is daily training. Each decision adds weight to one side of the scale. Here's a practical protocol. While working, keep your phone in another room. Schedule short breaks for checking messages instead of letting them invade your time at will. Close unused tabs on your computer. Wear noise-canceling headphones if needed. Create an environment where your mind feels like it has no option but to go deep. You'll notice something powerful once you begin. Busy feels frantic. Focused feels calm. Busy leaves you drained. Focused leaves you fulfilled. The distinction isn't in how many hours you worked, but in how much of yourself you gave to what truly mattered. Remember this: every hour lost to distraction is an hour you will never get back. That is your life slipping through your fingers. And the cost isn't just time, it's identity. Each choice tells your brain who you are becoming. Do you want to be someone whose energy is stolen by notifications, or someone who builds something real? Guarding focus isn't about living in isolation. It's about choosing depth over noise. It's about giving your best energy to the few things that truly matter. And when you do, your progress compounds. You stop rushing, stop second-guessing, and start moving with purpose. Pause here and ask yourself, what distractions do you keep allowing in? Be honest. Write them down. See them clearly. Then decide which ones no longer deserve your energy. That list is your liberation. And while you reflect, I'll invite you. Share in the comments one distraction you're ready to cut and one practice you'll use to protect your focus. This community grows stronger when we learn from each other. And don't forget, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next stage of this training journey. When you begin treating focus like gold, something shifts. You rise above the noise. You stop bouncing between trivial tasks. You stop living in reaction. Instead, you move like someone who knows exactly what matters. And that calm, steady energy is noticeable. Others feel it. They trust it. More importantly, you trust it. Protecting your focus is not a luxury. It's survival for anyone serious about growth. And once you start living this way, you'll see how much stronger, clearer, and faster your progress becomes. Now that your attention is guarded, the next challenge is to toughen your inner core. Because no matter how focused you are, life will test you with discomfort. The only way forward is to build toughness, by leaning into what feels uncomfortable until it becomes your edge. Growth does not come wrapped in comfort. It arrives disguised as resistance, as the moment when your body says stop and your mind whispers quit. Most people treat discomfort as a signal to back away, to wait for easier conditions. But the truth is simple. Toughness is only built by moving into discomfort, not away from it. If you want to develop a mind that never breaks, you must practice facing what feels hard every single day. Look at anyone who has real strength. They did not arrive there by luck. They earned it through daily choices to do what was inconvenient, what was painful, what others avoided. Toughness is not inherited. It is constructed. and the bricks are small, consistent actions taken in the face of discomfort. It begins with something as basic as how you wake up. Do you hit snooze or do you rise when it's hard? That choice is training. It continues in the gym. Do you rack the weight when it burns or push for the last few reps? That choice is training. It shows up in your relationships. Do you avoid the hard conversation or speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable? That choice is training too. Each decision is a vote for resilience or fragility. The sneakiest danger of comfort is that it whispers you're fine where you are. It tells you you've done enough. It tricks you into mistaking ease for progress. But deep down, you know better. You know the easy road will never take you where you want to go. That's why you must challenge yourself on purpose. Don't wait for life to force pressure on you. Seek it. Step into it. Practice it until it feels normal. Start small. Take a cold shower when you want warm. Walk the extra mile when you're tired. Speak up when it feels safer to stay quiet. Complete the task you've been putting off. These small choices stack up, and over time, they build a foundation of grit. That grit is what holds you steady when real storms hit. This isn't about recklessness. It's about commitment. You don't chase discomfort to prove something dramatic. You choose it to stretch yourself beyond yesterday's limits. Every time you act against the pull of comfort, you expand the boundaries of what you believe you can do. You teach yourself that feelings are not the driver. Discipline is. Here's the pattern you'll notice. The days you want to quit and don't. Those are the days that change you. The mornings you get up tired but move anyway. Those are the mornings that forge identity. The private moments when no one is watching and you still push forward. Those are the moments that define you. And you don't need extreme challenges to practice. Life hands you opportunities for toughness every day. The key is awareness. Instead of dodging the hard thing, notice it and step into it. Each time you do, you deposit strength into your character bank. Each time you avoid it, you withdraw. Now, let's connect with each other. Comment below. What's one uncomfortable thing you'll commit to doing today? It could be finishing a project, having an honest conversation, or pushing through a workout. Share it, because declaring it makes it real. And while you're here, subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the next steps in this journey of building a stronger mind. Toughness is not glamorous. It is built quietly, in repetition, in the grind no one applauds. But its effects are unmistakable. A tough person walks into pressure with their head up. They don't run. They don't crumble. They bend, adjust, and keep moving. That presence is rare, and it's earned. You won't always get it right. Some days you'll avoid the challenge. Some days you'll shrink back. That's not the end. What matters is what you do next. Do you come back tomorrow and choose differently? Do you keep stacking those small wins? That persistence is what rewires you. Every act of discomfort accepted on purpose builds trust with yourself. You stop negotiating. You stop asking if you feel like it. You just do it. And the more you do, the more you realize. What once felt impossible now feels like standard. That's the magic of growth. It normalizes what used to scare you. So when the weaker voice says quit, recognize it. Smile at it. Then step forward anyway. Because the future belongs to those who show up when it's inconvenient, when it's boring, when it hurts. That's when you're shaping the kind of mind that wins every time. Having built the habit of leaning into discomfort, the next level is integrity. Aligning your words with your actions. because toughness without truth collapses. To be unshakable, you must become someone whose words actually mean something. Strength is not only measured by how much you can endure, it's also measured by how much your word is worth. You can build focus and toughness, but if your words don't align with your actions, the foundation cracks. A strong mind is built on integrity, the simple but rare discipline of saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Think of how many promises people make and never keep. They tell themselves they'll wake up early, but they hit snooze. They commit to a goal, but quit halfway. They say yes to others when they mean no. Each broken word isn't just a small failure. It chips away at self-trust. Over time, those chips add up. The gap between intention and action becomes so wide that people no longer believe themselves. And if you can't believe your own words, how can you ever build unshakable confidence? Integrity is not about pleasing others. It's about becoming someone you can trust. Every time you follow through, you strengthen that inner contract. Every time you break it, you weaken it. The math is simple, but the stakes are huge. Living this way starts small. Don't make promises you don't plan to keep. Don't say yes when the answer is no. Don't declare goals for show. Speak with clarity. Act with consistency. When your words and your actions match, you don't need to convince anyone. You become convincing by presence alone. People feel it. They trust it. Most importantly, you trust it. And here's the hidden truth. Freedom comes when your words and actions are aligned. You no longer waste energy covering lies, making excuses, or juggling half-truths. Life becomes lighter, simpler. You stop performing and start living. That clarity gives you power. This doesn't mean it's easy. Sometimes it would be easier to promise what people want to hear or to take shortcuts when no one is watching. But shortcuts cost more in the long run. They erode reputation and fracture identity. Integrity demands discipline. Discipline to be honest when it's inconvenient, to admit mistakes without hiding, to own outcomes without blame. Ask yourself right now, do my actions match my words? Where are the gaps? Write them down. This is not about shame. It's about clarity. Once you see the gap, you can begin to close it. Here's a practice. Start by treating every small promise like a contract. If you tell yourself you'll read for 10 minutes, do it. If you say you'll call someone, call. If you commit to finishing a task, finish it before moving on. Each kept promise builds credibility. Each kept promise rewires your identity. Slowly, you become someone who doesn't need motivation to act. You act because it's who you are. Let's engage here. Share in the comments one small promise you're committed to keeping today. It could be as simple as completing a workout, journaling, or making an honest phone call. Declaring it makes it stronger. And remember, if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next parts of this audiobook journey. Over time, this alignment compounds. You'll notice you hesitate less. You'll second-guess yourself less. Why? Because you've trained a foundation of trust. You don't need to wonder if you'll follow through. You know you will. That's the quiet kind of confidence that radiates without a word. Think about the people you respect most. They're rarely the ones with the loudest talk. They're the ones whose actions quietly match their words. They show up. They deliver. They don't overpromise. They overperform. That's the kind of presence that lasts. And when you live this way, setbacks don't shake you. You may stumble, but you own it and correct it. You don't hide. You don't shift blame. You fix it. That pattern builds trust faster than perfection ever could. Integrity isn't glamorous. It won't always earn applause. But it builds a reputation with yourself and with others that cannot be faked. And once you have that, you carry strength into every situation. Now that we've established the power of aligning words with actions, the next step is building the muscle of completion. Because saying and doing are powerful, but finishing is what turns effort into results. Starting is easy. Anyone can begin a project with excitement, energy, and good intentions. But finishing, that's where character is revealed. The people who win in life are not those who start the most things. They are the ones who see things through to the end, especially when the excitement fades, when the work gets boring, or when obstacles pile up. Finishing is what transforms scattered effort into solid results. Every time you abandon something halfway, you teach your mind that quitting is acceptable. That pattern becomes identity. Soon, quitting becomes the default response to discomfort. And each unfinished task, each broken promise, chips away at your confidence. You don't trust yourself to follow through, and that doubt bleeds into everything else you do. The opposite is just as true. Each time you finish what you start, you send your mind a different message. I am the kind of person who completes things. That message reshapes your identity. Confidence doesn't come from hype. It comes from proof. Proof that you do what you say. Proof that you close the loop. Proof that you keep showing up until it's done. It doesn't matter if the task is small. If you begin cleaning a drawer, finish it. If you promise to write a page, finish it. If you start a workout, complete every rep. These small acts of completion stack up, rewiring your brain to believe that you finish, period. Over time, that belief creates momentum. You no longer debate whether to continue. You continue because stopping is no longer your habit. Of course, the test always arrives. There will be a point where the work feels uncomfortable, where progress slows, where you feel stuck. That's the moment where most people walk away. But that moment is the forge. Push through it, and you come out stronger. Break down there, and you reinforce weakness. The choice is always yours. Completion is not about speed. You don't have to sprint. You don't have to get it all right the first time. You just have to keep moving forward until the job is done. Even slow progress compounds. Even small steps add up. Consistency beats bursts of energy every time. Here's a simple practice. Each day, pick one task and commit to finishing it no matter what. Don't go to bed until it's done. It could be small. Replying to an email, reading a chapter, finishing a report. The size doesn't matter. The act of finishing does. Over time, this habit of completion becomes automatic. Completion also carries into relationships and reputation. When you finish what you start, people trust you. They see you as reliable, solid, dependable. You no longer need to explain yourself. Your consistency speaks louder than words. And when others trust you, opportunities open. Now pause and reflect. What have you left unfinished? What projects, promises, or commitments are still hanging? Choose one and finish it today. Then share it in the comments so others can be inspired to close their own loops. And as always, subscribe and hit the bell so you can continue building this library of strength inside you. Remember this: the difference between dreamers and achievers is not talent, it's completion. Dreamers start often, achievers finish consistently, and that habit of finishing becomes the foundation for confidence that doesn't waver. When you become someone who finishes, you carry quiet power. You no longer need to broadcast what you're doing. You just do it. People notice not because you talk, but because you live it. That's the presence of someone who wins. Having built the muscle of completion, the next challenge is resilience when life refuses to cooperate. Because no matter how strong your focus, toughness, and follow-through, there will be times when plans collapse. In those moments, finishing requires not just discipline, but the ability to reset your mindset under pressure. Life rarely goes according to script. You can plan carefully, set your routines, keep your promises, and still watch circumstances collapse around you. That's not failure. That's reality. The question isn't whether setbacks will come. It's how you respond when they do. And this is where a strong mindset separates winners from everyone else. Most people break down at the first sign of trouble. They complain, freeze, or look for someone to blame. Their emotions take over, and their thinking spirals into negativity. They let one obstacle convince them the entire journey is doomed. That's not strength. That's surrender. A trained mind, on the other hand, knows how to pause, reset, and reframe. It knows that mindset matters most when things are not going right. When pressure builds, your first job is to catch your thoughts. Notice them before they drag you into panic. Ask, what's real here? What's exaggerated? What's still in my control? By shifting your questions, you shift your energy. Suddenly, you're not drowning. You're choosing. You're not reacting. You're responding. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or faking positivity. It means refusing to feed thoughts that weaken you. Anger, fear, and self-pity may arrive, but you don't have to serve them dinner. You redirect. You focus on what can be done now, not on the drama of what might happen. Here's a practice. When something goes wrong, stop and breathe. Write down the facts. Then write down the story your emotions are telling you. Compare them. Most of the time, the story is far darker than the facts. Once you see that, you can begin to replace panic with perspective. A strong mindset is built on standards, not feelings. That means deciding in advance how you will think when plans collapse. No negative self-talk. No blame games. No quitting just because motivation disappeared. You set rules. I will focus on solutions. I will move forward, even slowly. I will not waste energy on excuses. Then, when the storm hits, you lean on those rules instead of your emotions. This is how winners operate. They don't need everything to go right to keep moving. They know that setbacks are not the end. They are training grounds. Each problem is a chance to grow sharper, calmer, and more resilient. Some of the best breakthroughs in life come disguised as problems. But you only see them if you stay steady. Think about your own patterns. Do you spiral into why me? Do you repeat the story that nothing ever works out? Those are mental traps. They drain your strength and keep you stuck. You can break them, but only if you admit they exist. The mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Training decides which one it becomes. Now, let's connect. Share in the comments a challenge you're facing right now and how you're choosing to reframe it. This community grows when we turn struggles into lessons together. And if you're finding value here, subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss the next part of this journey. Remember, strength is not built in calm seas. It is forged in storms. Each time you stand back up, each time you redirect your thoughts, you add weight to the muscle of resilience. Over time, this becomes your normal. You don't crumble when life pushes. You bend, you adjust, and you keep moving. When your mindset becomes steady under friction, you stop seeing problems as stop signs. You see them as tests, and passing those tests gives you unshakable confidence. You stop fearing chaos because you know you can meet it with clarity. This is the essence of resetting under pressure. It's not about feeling good. It's about staying clear. It's not about avoiding storms, but about learning to navigate them with focus. And once you master that, the next step is even more powerful. Training yourself to remain calm when the pressure is highest, so your decisions stay sharp and your actions stay effective. Pressure has a way of exposing what's really inside us. When life feels heavy, when deadlines close in, when emotions rise, most people tighten, panic, and make rash moves. They speak without thinking, rush into mistakes, or freeze entirely. That kind of response doesn't come from strength. It comes from lack of training. Calmness under pressure isn't weakness. It's control. It's the rare ability to hold steady when everything around you shakes. The truth is, you don't just wake up calm under pressure. You become calm through practice. Life will not wait until you feel ready. Problems don't schedule appointments. They crash in unannounced. If your thoughts are untrained, pressure will own you. But if you've built the habit of composure, you'll meet stress with clarity instead of chaos. Start small. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, practice staying calm. When plans change suddenly, practice adapting without spiraling. When someone speaks with anger, resist matching their tone. These small drills are your mental gym. If you can't stay calm in daily frustrations, don't expect to stay calm in crisis. Calmness grows repetition by repetition, choice by choice. You also need to know your triggers. Which situations make you lose your cool? Who tends to pull you into emotional reactivity? What patterns show up when you feel cornered? Study them. Awareness is your first layer of armor. Once you see the pattern, you can prepare for it instead of being blindsided. Remember, just because your body reacts with tension doesn't mean your mind must follow. Heart racing, palms sweating, thoughts spinning, that's normal under pressure. But those sensations are not commands. They're just signals. You can pause. You can reset. You can remind yourself, this is pressure, not the end. Calm brings clarity. Clarity drives action. Think of the difference. Panic blinds you to solutions. Calm reveals them. Panic burns energy. Calm conserves it. Panic weakens trust. Calm builds it. People naturally look to those who stay steady in storms, not because they have all the answers, but because they're not losing their heads. That presence alone changes rooms. Here's a practice. Set a personal rule that no matter what happens, you will take 3 deep breaths before responding. This creates space between stimulus and reaction. In that space, you choose. You lead. That simple ritual can save you from countless regrets and keep you anchored in strength. Calmness is not silence. It's not withdrawal. It's engagement without losing balance. It's steady focus when emotions spike. It's deliberate movement while others scramble. And it's one of the greatest competitive advantages you can build. Because few people have it. Pause here. Share in the comments one situation where you usually lose your calm, and declare one practice you'll use to stay steady next time. And if this resonates, subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss the next training chapter. Over time, calmness becomes identity. At first it feels forced, then it becomes habit. Eventually, it's simply who you are. You no longer need to remind yourself. Your default becomes composed, grounded, clear. That's when you carry power others can feel. And calm thinking doesn't just protect you from mistakes. It opens your eyes to opportunities you'd otherwise miss. Noise hides solutions. Clarity reveals them. When your mind is steady, your vision sharpens. You notice details, patterns, and possibilities others overlook. That's why calmness under pressure doesn't just help you survive. It helps you win. This is the culmination of training. Mornings owned, focus guarded, toughness built, words aligned, tasks finished, mindset reset, and now calmness mastered. But training doesn't end here. To lock this transformation into your very identity, you must repeat the basics every day until they are no longer tasks, but part of who you are. Winning in life isn't about rare flashes of brilliance. It isn't about waiting for perfect conditions. It's about what you repeat daily until it rewires you. The keystone of this entire journey is simple. The basics, done consistently, shape your identity. Most people chase novelty. They want hacks, shortcuts, the next shiny system. But winners understand the real secret. Ordinary actions performed with extraordinary consistency. Waking up at a set time, guarding your focus, finishing what you start, reflecting on your thoughts. These basics are not glamorous, but they are powerful. Repetition turns them into second nature. At first, repetition feels boring. You want variety. But boring is where power lives. Each time you repeat a strong habit, you etch it deeper into your mind. Eventually, you don't have to think about it. You just do it. That's when transformation sticks. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're no longer fighting to stay calm. You are calm. The basics stop being practices and start being identity. This is the lock-in of strength. One day, you'll realize you don't need to hype yourself up to act. You don't need to negotiate with yourself to follow through. You don't need permission to be strong. It's simply who you are now. That shift is worth everything, because identity drives behavior without friction. If you're waiting for motivation, stop. Motivation is fleeting. What lasts is design. Winners don't wait for chance. They design routines that carry them whether they feel like it or not. That's why their results look inevitable. They aren't lucky. They are consistent. Here's your invitation. Pick one basic habit and do it every day for the next week. No excuses, no breaks. Just repetition. Then stack another. Layer them until they become the rhythm of your life. Do this long enough, and you'll look back realizing the life you're living isn't random. It's built. One repeated action at a time. The final truth is simple. Victory is not circumstantial. It doesn't depend on what's happening outside. It's trained, codified by standards, cemented by repetition until your mind wins without needing permission. So keep showing up. Keep repeating the basics. Keep building the habits that hold you steady. Because in the end, strength is not about what you do once. It's about what you do every day until it becomes who you are. That's the kind of mind that wins. Not sometimes, but every time.